After going through this video, you will be able to understand the importance of indentation in programming, understand the roles of various HTML tags, understand how to open a locally created HTML on our browser. In the previous video, we left on an interesting note: how we can make this cluttered, unreadable code look like this, which is more structured and readable.
So, to make a code look more structured and readable, we follow some standards or rules. That is, the child element must start after adding 4 spaces from where its parent element started. You can choose to add spaces as per your own convenience, but make sure it makes the code readable and is uniform throughout. In general, 4 spaces is the most widely used adopted practice among web developers. These spaces are called leading spaces. Let's see what do we mean by this. So, the first element in our sample HTML code is the doc type HTML, which we will discuss shortly in the video. In the next line, we have an HTML element which is not a child to any element. So this will start without any leading space. Next, we have a head element which is a child to HTML element. So it will start with 4 leading spaces. To add a leading space, just press spacebar once. So for 4 leading spaces, we need to press the spacebar 4 times. Next, we have a title element which is a child element to head element. So the title element will start with 4 additional leading spaces as compared to its parent head element. This means we need to add 8 leading spaces. The head closing tag will be written in a similar way as we have defined the opening tag, that is, by adding 4 leading spaces. And using a similar approach, we will write the closing body and HTML tags.
Indentation is the most basic and important thing that separates a beginner level coder from a good coder.
This principle is not only followed in web development but in all programming languages. If your code is written neatly with proper indentation, anyone looking at your code will be impressed and will appreciate you for writing neat and structured code. It has several other benefits. For example, if you apply for a job and submit your code as an assignment, the first thing that the interviewer will see is the way you have written your code. This would enhance your chances of getting selected. So make sure that whenever you write a piece of code, it should be well structured and indented. And the only way to ensure this is to practice more and more so that you build this habit. Now, let us again come back to HTML code and let me walk you through the various tags, elements, and attributes we have used. The first is the doc type, which is neither a tag nor an element. This tells the browser that the following is an HTML code and needs to be rendered accordingly. This will always be the first line of code. Next, we have HTML. HTML is the root element of the entire code. All the elements will be present inside this root element, that is HTML element. Please note that HTML element has only 2 direct children, that is head element and body element. The head element only contains some additional information about the web page that is not directly a part of the web page. For example, the title element that contains the page title of the web page, which is displayed at the top of the browser. Don't confuse this head element with the header of any web page. Mostly, beginners make this mistake here. Next, we have the body element that contains all other elements that are directly visible on the web page. For example, the h1 tag is used to add a heading. The p tag is used to add a paragraph. The hr tag is used to add a horizontal line, which is a self-closing tag. The a tag is used to add a clickable link that redirects the user to a different page. The content part inside the opening and closing tags is visible on the page, that is, click here. This content is linked to a URL which is defined in the href attribute. This means if you click on click here, you will be redirected to Intern Shala's website. And lastly, we have an image tag which is used to add an image to our web page. The src or the source attribute defines the path from where the image will be fetched. It is also a self-closing tag. We will look at this tag in detail in the next topic. So that was all about the various HTML tags, elements, and attributes that are present in our HTML code. Now before we end this video, I would like you to focus your attention on how to open HTML files in your browser. One way you are already familiar with is by entering the file name in the address bar of the browser. This is something that we have already discussed and seen in the previous video. The other way to open an HTML file in your browser is by double-clicking the file. Now this method is not preferred because there is no HTTP request response cycle. In this case, you are simply asking your browser to directly render the HTML content present in the file. The first method is preferred because to become a good developer, we should always replicate the real world scenario. Also, as we will progress to the later stages of the training, things will not work without HTTP request response cycle. And most importantly, to open any HTML file through the browser, we will always save the HTML files in this location only because Apache will not be able to find the files anywhere. Well, that is all in this video. Up next is a quiz. All the best.